Communications for Hillary for America. Lan He-chen, Director of Domestic Policy at Stanford University and a former policy advisor to the Mitt Romney campaign in 2012. Great to have all three of you here. So, Kurt, we got to start with you, obviously, because you kind of know who this guy is and the institution that he served and you served. Why is he doing this right now? It's been exactly, what, about 1 year since he left the White House.
Well, Steve, I've come to find as someone of a parasitical type figure, that he's always looking and searching for something to attach himself to give himself prominence, to give himself visibility. And I always thought that after the breakup of Trump and Bannon, that if there was a way back, it was going to have to be in a scenario where Trump was at his weakest, so that Steve could almost prey upon that and show him that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still going to take your phone call. I'm going to try to do things to help bolster you up and protect your agenda. I'm still on your team. And really, in order for Bannon to succeed, he needs Trump to fail. And you look at all of the things going on right now, whether it's the Omarosa, whether it's security clearances, whether it's the Mueller probe, whether it's the prospect of Republicans losing Congress in November, the Trump administration is under siege. And that's exactly the type of environment that Bannon thrives in to try to resurface and regain prominence with Donald Trump.
Well, let's just be very practical if we can for a second, Lan He, and ask the question, what does Steve Bannon bring to the party that Trump and his team don't already have?
Well, I don't know that there is a lot of value add there, Richard. I think, frankly, this is about somebody, Kurt obviously knows him very well. I think the expression of, Steve Bannon sort of being in this at this point because he sees opportunity probably is absolutely right. I mean, he made some points in the interview, for example, noting that Roy Moore would have won if Mitch McConnell hadn't intervened. Well, I'm really glad Mitch McConnell intervened, as it turns out, because it would have been a disaster for the Republican Party as an institution to the extent that it still exists. If Bannon's preferred outcome had been the case. So I don't know that there's a whole lot more that Bannon brings to the table. Obviously, this is his opportunity to come back into the discussion. He's taking it.
Adrian, what do you think? What does Bannon bring to the table here?
I don't think he brings much to the table at all, Richard. I mean, look, this is a desperate man who's trying desperately to hang on to whatever shred of relevancy he may have left, not only in the Trump administration, but also in politics. He's putting this war room together to essentially try to save the House for Republicans by focusing on impeachment, when Democrats have candidates across the country who are running on protecting health care, raising wages, and ridding Washington of corruption that Trump and the GOP have infiltrated throughout politics. So, I think he's trying, as Kurt pointed out, really desperately to try to hang on to some sort of relevancy. He realizes that not having, a connection or not having that relationship with Trump has really damaged his career, and so I think he's trying to crawl his way back in.
One of the reports that came out this week, and everybody on this panel likes to look at these numbers, I know that. Nate Silver's 538 coming out. They were forecasting again the 2018 midterms and the House races there, and he said that his estimates are that Democrats have a 3 in 4 chance of retaking the House in November. He also, during the 2016 election, had 7 out of 10 that Hillary Clinton would win, by the way, as well. But things do change. Kurt Bardella, so then the question might be here, does Bannon help move that a little bit farther right? Does he help in the messaging in the districts across the country, and which districts?
I think at the end of the day, the big question here is how impactful can Bannon be with this other effort to try to influence the midterms? Does he have funding to run multiple campaigns in multiple states? Does he have a financial backer? Because what made him so potent with the whole Breitbart-Trump situation was at the time he had this billionaire, the Mercer family, the billions of dollars backing him. So whatever political initiative he wanted to spearhead, there was the money there to make it happen. Right now, all we're hearing from Steve are words. And Steve is what he always does. He takes advantage of the media crush that there is on him, because anytime that he talks, anytime he wants to go on television or talk to a reporter, that phone call is always returned, that segment is always booked, and then he gets a lot of saturation. But we haven't seen the nuts and bolts of, is there or there? Is there real money behind that? Because if there isn't, if this is all just for show and the hopes of attracting investment, this could really go away very quickly and be not very impactful at all.
Yeah, that's fun to think about for a second here, Lan He. Who is he trying to attract at this moment?